How can I invite more curiosity into my life? You want to start a new cycle again and again. Start working actively with this card, the Fool, because it's all about that inner power. Maybe some of you hate their 9-to-5 job. I look at them and I see the past version of me. We don't feel that guy any more into our lives. You just don't know if it's the right thing to do, not the right thing to do. Then just ask yourself, inspired by this card, am I ready to do that big jump into my life? You can just get the answer. You don't need to understand right now how, but there is a clear technology there behind all these processes. We'll get the clarity, we'll get the answer immediately. Powerful questions which you can ask yourself when you contemplate this card, and in case if you want to establish certain positive qualities attributed to this card. How can I invite more curiosity into my life? It's in case if you feel bored out of your head from this life. Now, I have a story for you. I really was bored out of my life all the time whenever I was a child, and I looked at people around me. I could read them like this. I don't know. I was naturally tuned to reading people around me, and many times I was thinking I would never get married even, because I was thinking whenever I go into any type of interaction, I read people. They are like mirrors in front of me, and it's never interesting. And I was thinking it's better to be alone already, because I just love to be alone. There is nothing interesting in you. I can know about people. I read them all. And oddly enough, right now I'm happily married already with my husband for close to a dozen of years. And I would say that you never know. You go to that perception of all-knowingness, and then you are bored out of your mind from life, and that's the beginning of the end, I tell you. So that in order to open the new cycle, if you're already feeling that you are in the end of the cycle, let's say, I'm just thinking, where is that wondrous card in here? I'm searching for you. So whenever you feel that you are in the end of the cycle and we are all willing to go to the world right in the end of the day, that's when we have that all understanding. But one of my clients told me, hey, Yulia, self-awareness, meaning all seeing, it's a curse. And I tell you, it's a curse if you get stuck in here. You want to start a new cycle again and again. And in order to do it, you have to invoke that inner curiosity in you. So how can I invite that childlike approach within me? How can I unleash that power within me, right? So Tony Robbins, this powerful motivational speaker here, I remember how I went on one of his trainings, and it was really inspiring. But at the same time, I just couldn't make that lasting change even after all his trainings. And I found still my way, and that will be later on in one of my social media channels. I will definitely tell you the end of the story. However, I just wanted to tell you that in order to unleash that power within, you can just start working actively with this card, the Fool, because it's all about that inner power, unleashing that power. So literally ask yourself that question and start contemplating this card. That's a powerful question which you can work with this card as well. Or you can take your whole deck. Let's say you take your whole deck, right, and you shuffle and you ask yourself that question, and guess what? Whatever you pull out, you interpret it based on the best of your abilities level at that moment. Now, another powerful question which you can ask when you want to get back to that positive set of qualities of the card, the Fool, is, let's say you are experiencing some deep spiritual awakening at the moment. And I believe so that many of you here are going through those inner transformations. So which spiritual awakening, how deep that spiritual awakening am I experiencing right now, which is stirring within me right now? And what is the next right step to do based on that awakening? And then I look at this card and I contemplate whatever I pay my attention to, whichever the symbol I write down in my tarot journal, and I start contemplating and I start figuring out based on my subconscious level answer, start figuring out what is the conscious answer for that subconscious symbol notice which I paid attention to, right? So that's very, very important to do that type of questioning through this card, to get back to that childlike approach, to get back to that self-digging process process, being excited about yourself, being excited about the world around you. Now, I had some notes in here. Let's say you are in the beginning of something. You started opening a business, and maybe some of you, like, they hate their 9-to-5 job, or they don't like the position where they currently are stuck into. You love your job, but you don't like the position where you're currently into. Something is inside you which is not really comfortable with what you are currently doing in life, and we spend like nearly 80% of our time in our lifetime on our works. So it makes sense to be joyful about what you are doing, but that's not the case today when I look at all the people around me. Many of my clients, I look at them and I see the past version of me because I was in the same situation. That's why today I can provide that helping hand. And I see how they struggle with their current jobs, meaning they still earn money. It's not the problem even of money. Some do struggle with money, but many don't. And the problem is, it's like life is passing through their fingers. If we do something and it's like water just which we pour to our hands, and our hands are wide open like this, so our life, our joy of life is not there. We do things, we earn money, but there is no vigor, there is no vibrancy of life. We don't feel that guy any more into our lives. We don't feel life. We become like the machines. So if I'm in the beginning of starting something new in life, the wonderful question to ask yourself is how? Let's say you wanted to write a book. How can I write this book? And you look at this card again, or you take your deck and you start asking this question: how? What is my next right step to do in writing my book? Okay? And you pull out the card and you start reading it, right? Inspired by this positive quality of this card, the Fool. Now, another question which you can possibly ask yourself is, let's say you are in the beginning of something new and there are these butterflies in the stomach and you just don't know if it's the right thing to do, not the right thing to do. Then just ask yourself, inspired by this card, am I ready to do that big jump into my life? And you know what? Your subconscious mind will immediately see the right symbol, put it into your journal, especially before sleep. Next morning, you can just get the answer. I tell you, our psyche, our higher self connected to this machine, to this yantra. In Hinduism, they have this interesting wording for our body description like yantra. I never could understand what yantra is, but that's the machine. So our higher self, whenever we start synchronizing our machine to our higher self, it starts working through symbolism. That's why symbolism is important. So even if you don't know the answer, but you ask that powerful question, am I ready for that big jump start right now or not? And you look at this card, or another way, you use that question from the card, the Fool, and you use that deck additionally for that. And whatever the card you pull out, you start interpreting based on your current card reading skills. However you are reading, either you are reading based on only booklets or you are reading intuitively. I'm teaching how to read tarot cards intuitively in my transformation course, like Transform Your Life with a Tridevia Tarot deck. I explain in details how to do it. So if you would want to go with me through that journey, just sign up to that course. You will find the link below. Now, continuing this topic about the jumpstart. So am I ready for that big jumpstart in my life? And you will see some symbol, and then only you will know, maybe not today, but you may know tomorrow after you had a good sleep. Believe me, our higher self, somehow, you don't need to understand right now how, but there is a clear technology there behind all these processes. Our higher self communicates. That field, Greg Braden talks about the field, they call it the field. Someone may talk about the universe, whatever they call it, but there is this universal power which we are all connected to. So if we synchronize our yantra, our body, our full body to that higher self, to that universal power, we'll get the clarity, we'll get the answer immediately, I tell you. It's just the muscle which we need to learn to use. And this deck, which you are currently holding into your arms, whatever the deck is, let it be Tridevia Tarot deck or any other deck which you are currently using, can be used as that self-therapy tool to work with your psyche. Alrighty, so I hope all these questions inspired by the card the Fool will serve you well, and you will be able to extract from within you those positive qualities of this powerful card.